against the defending world champions.
A 2-1 lead in the best-of-7, 97-95 in OT over the New York Knicks. They have played one quarter already at the America West Arena in Phoenix. The Suns on top. Let's go out to Gary Bender and Goose Givens as we get ready for the second period in that Western Conference semi.
Ernie Johnson, thank you, and welcome to America West Arena for Game 2 in this Western Conference semifinal. The Suns up 1-0, and the Suns have come out of the chute flying, and they've already hit 6 threes in this first quarter of play. And Jack Givens, they are dominating on the boards once again. But the big play in the first quarter was this block by Charles Barkley.
Well, I think as you watch this play, you will see the intensity level that the Phoenix Suns have played with, not only in Game 1 and Game 2 so far in this series, but all throughout the playoffs. Watch Charles Barkley as he makes the play on Drexler's dunk. And then you will see after this time how Charles responds after making the play. He springs back inbounds and takes away the shot from Cassell. It doesn't give him an opportunity to follow. They get nothing out of this, and that's what Barkley has done the entire game.
Clyde Drexler, of course, he was ejected in the second quarter of Game 1 at 10-12, which just demoralized this Houston team. But I think you have to give credit to Phoenix. They are playing their best basketball of the year. Almost in every statistical category, they're #1 in the playoffs.
Well, they made up their mind, Gary, that they were going to become a better rebounding team, #1 in the playoffs, because they weren't as good as they wanted to be during the regular season. The other thing they were not going to do is give up easy baskets, give up any layups uncontested. And the Houston Rockets haven't gotten any in this ballgame.
Now, here's what I was talking about. Remarkable point differential. Look what they're shooting. They're just absolutely playing as well as you can play this game, and they come in here 4-0 in the playoffs, unbeaten after sweeping Portland in the first round.
Yeah, every one of these categories leads to wins. Of course, the point differential, 16.5 points a game at this time of the year. That's hard to believe, but as I say, give Phoenix a lot of credit. They've done it on the defensive end of the floor. They've done it rebounding, and they've been very unselfish.
We're having right now a little housekeeping going on after the first quarter, some confetti floating down to the floor. Well, as you know, we've had some sickness here. In Game 1, it was Charles Barkley, and now for the medical report in Game 2, let's go to our courtside reporter, Nicole Watson. Nicole?
Well, Charles Barkley missed the first game. Was playing in the first game with a stomach virus, but he's okay now as doctors have put him on solid foods. As far as Hakeem Olajuwon, he left Game 1 with his ribs taped in an ace bandage, but he's 100% according to his trainers and back there in the starting lineup. As far as Sam Cassell, well, he had flu-like symptoms for this game, but he was questionable up until game time and was receiving IV treatments. He's out there playing, and he's just fine right now. Gary?
All right, he had a very good Game 1. He had 31 points in 37 minutes. But going ahead, as far as this game is concerned, the Suns don't want Houston to get a split here because they have back-to-back games in the Summit in Houston over the weekend.
Yeah, Gary, they have a concern just simply because Barkley, over the course of the last 2 years, has not responded well to back-to-back situations. Kevin Johnson has been injured most of this year, and they don't know how he will respond to back-to-backs. Houston feels, though, because they have proven they can win on the road in the playoffs. They were down 2-1 in the first series with the Utah Jazz, came back and won that. You know what happened last year after going down to losing in their first 2 games in their building. They feel they can win here in this arena again here tonight.
Well, you got to remember that 1 o'clock Eastern is Phoenix time at 10 in the morning. And as Rudy Tomjanovich said, it's very tough to make adjustments from back-to-back games. You can see, though, Houston winning both their games against Seattle and the Suns losing 2 to San Antonio. They're still trying to get some of this confetti off the floor. But let's take a look at some numbers here. In the first quarter, the Suns shooting 56%. They were able to hit from the three-point land 6 of 9 attempts. And on the other hand, the Rockets shooting only 29% after the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, and I think another key area when you talk about what has happened in this game is rebounds. Phoenix winning the battle of the boards, but they've also been aggressive on the offensive end. When they've missed shots, they have pretty much been able to get the shots and put them back in the basket.
Kevin Johnson leading the way in the first half with 12 points, all Westfall. His team 4-0 in the playoffs thus far. A team that was struggling. They'd lost 5 of 7 and then went down the stretch in the home season. And now they have won 12 of their last 13, 8 in a row going back to the regular season. Kelly gets the free throws. And that's the field goal percentage that Phoenix has thrown at them. You know, they shot 72% of the first quarter in game one. Up it comes to Marley, dumps it into Tisdale. Tisdale had a 12-point game in game one, followed by Person. They're going to disallow it, a loose ball foul. Person was able to stroke those threes from outside very effectively in quarter number one. He hit three, and then trying to follow inside the rookie out of Auburn.
But still, this is what I'm talking about here. Watch how easily Person gets to the basket. They have yet to put a body on one of the Phoenix players around the hole.
That foul on Person was his second. Here's Chucky Brown. He had to alter the shot. The putback is not there. Rebound is cleared by Tisdale.
Well, look how difficult it is for Houston to get the baskets. Even as they get that close to the basket, they cannot make those shots.
Dan Marley had only 1 3 attempted in the first game, deflected out to Tisdale. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Kenny Smith deflects it. Coming up with it is Chucky Brown. The defending world champions are mentally tough. You figure they'll claw their way back. They have the entire playoffs in the first round. Kenny Smith misses the three.
Well, too much time on that one. He had all the time he needed. Now, for Houston right here, I think the next time Phoenix takes the ball to the basket for a layup, they have to put somebody on the floor. I'm not talking about an unsportsmanlike play, but you have to somehow disrupt the momentum, and the only way to do that is start to commit some fouls.
Some of that nastiness, huh? Is that what you're talking about? Person floating, and he got it, and he'll go to the line, and Wesley Person, who has had as fine a rookie year as anybody's had in a long time for the Phoenix Suns. A very mature rookie, has really come out and played effectively. He has 11 points in this ball game.
Well, that's an example of what I'm talking about right here. Watch him take the ball to the basket, gets to the paint, and instead of going for an aggressive foul, grab his arms, not let him get the shot up at the basket. You give him a chance for a three-point play.
Foul goes on Drexler. His first. Danny Ainge has come in. Sam Cassell checks back into the lineup. As Nicole Watson stated earlier, Sam Cassell was not feeling well. He was not at the shoot-around. Drexler, well, he's still around anyway. At this time in game one, he was just about to be thrown out. He was thrown out at the 10-12 mark of the second quarter as Elliot Perry, the runner-up, announced for the most improved player of the year to Dana Barrett.
Olajuwon has faced 3 different centers already in this game. Each one of them plays him different. That's the first time he's been able to get to the paint.
Hakeem misses, and the foul is going to go on Chucky Brown, who tried to follow inside. Hakeem is 2 of 7 now for 4 points.
Now there's the other 2 centers he's gone against. Klein started the game, bodied up on Olajuwon, would not let him get to the paint. When Shades was in, he fronted Hakeem and made it difficult for him to catch the ball. And this time, they're bringing the double team. Olajuwon was able to get to the paint, could not make the shot.
By Slamma Jammo, that means Drexler and Olajuwon not doing all that well. Combined to 3 of 14 from the field. Marley tried a 3. It goes over the back, and the Rockets will get it back.
One thing they will not do, Houston will not do, is leave Dan Marley in the paint.
You see Rudy T. He got a T earlier, and he's still very animated on the sideline.
Yes, and I said leave Marley in the paint. I mean leave Marley around the three-point line.
Marley with the rebound. Again, they're one and done. There is absolutely nothing happening on the offensive boards for Houston.
But if you don't send someone to the basket, if you don't go, you're not going to get it. Now, Person hit the floor hard that time. He'll think about it before he goes to the paint the next time.
And Sam Cassell is guilty of the foul. You can see it again as we come to the 9:48 mark.
Coming in June, the true story of an American hero, Tecumseh.
It's as far as Michelin science has ever gone. Our biggest breakthrough since we invented the radial. Technology that brings us to a new level of performance, in good weather and bad. In the rain, in the snow. Technology so advanced, it even saves gas. The new energy tires with Radial XSE technology from Michelin. It's science that goes beyond magic.
A lonely road, a traveler, a friend, a trust to share beyond the journey's end. AAA insurance for all you love and own. Bring the security of AAA home.
For auto, home, life, and health.
Bring the security of AAA home.
You know, some dealers have prices clearly marked on their windshields. Just come on out and take a look, they say. Well, at Stadium Honda, we're going to make it easier yet. We'll clearly mark our prices on your screen. We have 40 Civics in stock, including a large selection of 4 doors with dual airbags, air, and lots of other stuff for just $199 a month. Or make no payments for 6 months. That's right, 6 months. All you have to do is point to any one of 40 and say, I'll take that one. It's as easy as that.
Hakeem Olajuwon having a really difficult time here with all the different defenses coming at him. You'll see the double team coming now because with Wayman Tisdale, he gives up a little bit of size. So they have to run the double teams. Olajuwon rushing his shots now, and he's not able to get them to go.
He is 2 of 8. And a little confused. Off it comes to Ellie. Ellie on the move. To Cassell. I should say Kenny Smith, and a block by Tisdale. And the Suns, who were 26th this year in the NBA in block shots, have made 2 impressive blocks here in the first half.
Well, they're challenging every shot at the basket. They made up their minds before this playoff series started. They were not going to give up uncontested layups. They haven't done it.
They were going to rebound and not get any layups up, and it has worked thus far in the playoffs. In it comes to Chucky Brown backing in, and we're going to have a traveling call on Brown. You see some frustration on the faces of this Houston team.
Yeah, I think you're right. Watch Tisdale come from the weak side here to block this shot. But no easy baskets for the Houston Rockets.
And, of course, Jack, this Phoenix team had the rap of being a poor defensive team, but they have played with such intensity, it's taken their defense up with them. Into Barkley backing in on Brown, and that's going to be a foul on Chucky. And Chucky says, what in the world am I going to do with Barkley? How many times has that been asked around the league?
Well, you talk about changes this time of the year. One thing that the Houston Rockets have done this game, they are playing Barkley with the small forwards, which I don't know if that's smart or not. But they feel they can get better double teams if they bring a bigger player. It hasn't worked to this point.
14 fouls now against the Rockets. Barkley backing in again on Chucky Brown, the all-CBA player that time.
Now that's what
nice help defense.
That's what they want right there.
Sam Cassell with 8:55 to go in the first half.
Well, I really thought Olajuwon was going to come out here and dominate this game early, but they're not letting him get it.
Kenny Smith tries a 3. Barkley with Horry over the back. It's going to be off of Horry. Horry went high that time. And Barkley looking around like, hey, wait a minute. There was no foul there.
Hey, this is my house. I'm supposed to get that call.
Barkley came out here tonight like a frisky colt. He came charging out, pumping his knees high. Of course, he feels a lot better than he did Tuesday night when he had that food poisoning.
Well, at least right now in the ball game, for the first time all game, the Rockets doing a good job on the defensive boards.
Cassell, that high pick and roll. Tries to take it inside. Tisdale stripped it. Horry gets it into Hakeem, and Hakeem at point-blank range. That could get him started. 38-23, Phoenix. Danny Ainge, who had 3 for 3 behind the line on Tuesday night. Barkley backing in now on Horry. Horry trying to play the defense. That was the matchup change that Rudy T made, and Horry's probably saying, let's go back to something else.
Well, the reason they made that change is because Robert Horry's a little bit quicker. He feels like he can stay with Barkley when he fades away as he did that time. But you see what Barkley does. He's so big and so strong, and he reads the floor so well. Watch the turnaround, and he knocks it down.
Really nice rhythm.
Okay, new rules. Individuals are no longer more important than the team.
You want a piece of that championship? Put it in here. Nobody can do it alone, but together we can do it.
Sports magazines include more team photos. More game balls go to linemen. We all play more as a team. We pat someone on the butt when they fail and celebrate like madmen when they succeed. Starter, it's about team.
Gary Bender, Jack Gibbons, and Nicole Watson from America West Arena. The Suns leading 40-23, and that slam dunk a while ago by Olajuwon was the first shot the Rockets made in this quarter.
Phoenix, they made up their minds, and you have to give them credit. They said what they were going to do. They didn't try to hide it, and they have come out and done exactly that. Pick up the pressure defensively, not give the Rockets anything at the hole, uncontested.
Rockets were 0 for 7 in the quarter before Olajuwon scored that ball. They tried to get it inside. I just see some confusion. There's no flow. There's no rhythm right now to the Houston Rockets.
Well, and the reason why is because Phoenix is taking it away from them. They're not giving them any second shot. They're not giving them any easy baskets. And you know Houston, they have to get out on the break, give Clyde an opportunity to run, do his thing. If they don't get that, they're going to struggle.
Into Barkley, 9 seconds on the shot clock. The Suns shooting 53% to 24 for the Rockets, and Barkley inside. He jumps back up. He's talking to the Houston bench, and the Suns have their biggest lead of the game. He's doing it all as he was getting up.
They just don't have a big enough body to put on Barkley. And maybe in this series they miss Otis Thorpe more than any other time.
And there's Olajuwon working hard. To give Horry a lot of credit, he kept that ball alive until he could come up with it. 42-25. You know, as tough as this team is, Houston, that they have a lot of fight left in them yet. As Marley slashing in, almost uncontested.
Well, I'm just amazed at how easy it is for Phoenix around the basket and how difficult a struggle, even as good as Olajuwon is, for the Houston Rockets at the hole.
They tried to go inside, and Drexler thought it was tipped, but it wasn't, and it'll go to the Phoenix Suns.
Now, Charles Barkley, it's being guarded by Robert Horry. Not nearly strong enough. Not nearly strong enough. And he just goes up and under there and gets it off the backboard.
In game one, they had Pete Shilkin, and then they brought in guys like Chucky Brown off the bench. You see the shooting that we just mentioned a while ago. Ainge was 3 of 3 behind the line. In game one, he misses there. He has 164 threes. That's number 1 all time in playoff action. There's Drexler with the 3. And Drexler's shot didn't have much arch on it, did it?
Well, look at the numbers coming the other way.
And Marley just lowers his head. Barkley tried to follow. And it comes to Drexler. Up to Mario Ellis. He leaves it for Cassell. Robert Horry backing in. Ellie from outside. He's a good three-point shooter, and he's able to bury that. In the regular season, he hit 40% behind the line.
I'll tell you what, though. Phoenix will give that shot up. As few and far between as they're coming, uncontested shots, they'll give that up.
Kevin Johnson able to hit one from outside. Kevin off to a very good start, 14 points in the ball game.
And they will especially give it up when they're having as much ease scoring on the other end.
Kevin Johnson had acupuncture treatment again on Wednesday as he's still having some problems with a sore left hamstring. But he has not been effective shooting-wise in this ball game. Olajuwon bounces off of Tisdale. That's what always amazes me about Hakeem. You can really jostle him as he tries to shoot it, but he just keeps his poise. And in that instance, as in many of them, he's able to get it to go. And a 20-second timeout now for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, what Olajuwon does, he keeps the defense guessing because he is now so creative with the shot. It used to be early in his career, you could anticipate where he was going. He'd always come back to the middle. But now he has the fall-away jump shot. He turns away from the double teams, and that's a shot that's you've seen him make, and you know it's very difficult to stop.
He's the leading scorer in the playoffs thus far as Paul Westfall's team with a 46-30 lead. Joe Klein had a strong game, hitting 6 of 7. He got into early foul trouble, though, and had to sit down tonight.
Yeah, he came out, made a three-point shot in this ball game. And that's the reason his offense is so important is because Phoenix does not play their centers around the low post. They put them at the top of the key. They do that by design to make Olajuwon have to come out and guard it. Makes it easier for the other people around the basket.
5:08 to go in this first half of play. If you just joined us here a little bit late, earlier in overtime, Indiana defeated the New York Knicks. Rebound comes out to Sam Cassell. Cassell, 31 points in game one. That tied his season high of 31. Cassell missing there. Barkley with a rebound. That's 4 for the Chuckster, and that ball is going to be thrown away. Touch last by Houston. Don't forget, at the conclusion of our game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. And a guy who's been a candidate almost every night is coming into the game right now, A.C. Green.
And he's getting off to a great start tonight. That's another guy that the Rockets just simply do not have an answer for. You guard him with a smaller player. He's so active around the basket. He's played power forward all his life. Now he's at the small forward position. He's tough to match up against.
Barkley talking to Ori as he backs in on him. And Kevin Johnson misses the shot. AC tries to follow. And again, AC Green somehow got to the ball, and Ori committed the foul.
You just have to start putting a body on people. You have one of the better rebounding teams as far as playoffs rebound per games are concerned, and it's all AC Green and Charles Barkley. You've got to sometimes double up on these guys and keep them off the board.
AC Green in the playoffs has missed only one free throw. He is 28 of 29. That figures out to be 97%. All his numbers are up from the regular season, averaging 17.3. He had a career playoff high of 25 points in the last game.
Well, I'm looking at the rebound total because that's where it's really come. This is a guy that you never run a play for. So he's got to find a way to get shots at the basket. It's either coming up with loose balls or getting the offensive rebound. That's the only way he gets his points.
Well, they had a big headline here in Phoenix, the Green Machine, and that's what it is. He has been like a machine, and he's taken it to a new level. He said the playoffs, that's winning time for me. He's won 2 NBA titles with the Lakers.
And he has never missed the playoffs any year of his career. 10 straight years to the playoffs.
731 straight games in the regular season play. That's third best all time. Drexler from outside, and Clyde with a 3, and maybe that could get Drexler started in the game.
He's going to have to become more involved in the offense. As you know, they lost him in the second period the last game. When he has not scored in the playoffs, they have lost the game. So he needs to have 20 or more if they're going to have a chance.
Yeah, he had a 41, a 30, and a 31-point game in the first round against Utah. Marley trying to shake Drexler into Barkley. 5 seconds on the shot clock. The double team coming. Clyde will have an open shot. Hakeem runs out on him. And we're going to have a foul against Houston. There was an example of Hakeem respecting Klein. He did not run out on him in game 1, but he did on that particular incident.
Well, he knows he has to come. I'm really surprised KJ passed up the shot before. He had a much better shot at the basket, passed it over one more time, and Klein had to rush it with 1 second left on the clock.
Sam Cassell has picked up his 3rd foul. So Kenny Smith will come to the ball game. So Cassell, who wasn't feeling well anyway, can't feel very good right now as he'll take a seat. He was 0 for 4. And you got to understand, when you're not feeling well, this is a tough enough game to play when you're feeling good.
The reason why he has been getting more minutes is because he's a little bit better defensive player than Kenny Smith, particularly against a guy like KJ, who is so good off the dribble.
Barkley now in double figures with 10 points. Barkley, the number 2 scorer of the playoffs, second only to Hakeem. Of course, he had that 47-point game in game 3 against Portland. 50-33, the Suns. 3:44 to go in the first half. Kenny Smith, who had some moments in Utah, it was hard to believe. He had 17 threes he hit in that 5-game series. Tied an NBA playoff record. And that was the first time they've really run anything effectively. And Ori, the recipient of a good pass and an easy layup.
Well, they've done a much better job that time of spreading the court. Phoenix has done a good job on defense, particularly with their help defense. They took it out of the play because the spacing was good.
Suns now with a 50-35 lead, and inside a foul. Barkley drawing the foul, and he passed Ronnie Nunn on the backside to tell him good job on that call.
Now watch the cut by Robert Horry here. As you see this pass coming from the weak side, you get a good screen on AC Green. He is on the upside, Robert Horry, but there's no help, no place that you can get help. That's the way you run your offense.
And Ori there picking up his 2nd foul and sending Barkley to the line.
Barkley's just too strong. He is too strong for the small forward on most nights.
Well, Charles has been focused. He has been excited. He's not saying much. He's almost been reticent for him. I mean, he hasn't talked to the press, the media. And as he said, the first to 15, and that's what they're looking for. And thus far, the Suns have 4 of those wins to 15.
Hey, what? It's very easy not to get into confrontation with the official when you're blowing people out by 16.5 points a game.
Drexler ducking inside, and now Clyde Drexler looking like the Drexler you would expect. Today named to the 3rd team All-NBA team. As here is Kevin Johnson outside trying to shake Kenny Smith. 52-37, Phoenix. Look at Ori trying to fight off Barkley that way. He was able to come up with it and tip it out to Kenny Smith. Horry working hard.
Phoenix has need this run. They would like to get it down to within 10 before this half ends.
12 seconds on the shot clock. Into Chilcutt. He tries to save it, but he saves it to Marley. 3-on-2. Barkley.
Well, they get it and go. They get it and they get on the break.
You can see Barkley really feels good. He started the year with a lot of problems injury-wise, but he looks like he's about 10 years younger the way he's playing in this particular series. For that matter, the playoffs. Here's Marley with a steal. Flying ahead to Barkley. He's going to set up for a three. Marley again comes up with it. What hustle by Dan Marley.
Phoenix getting every loose ball. I mean, it's been that way the entire game.
Marley up to Barkley the follow away, and the Suns continue to just play sensational basketball.
Playing with so much confidence. So much confidence, and it starts with Barkley. He sets the pace.
Biggest lead of the game now, 19 points. Kenny Smith with a three. He doesn't look confident at all.
Not tonight. And KJ got hit in the eye, and it was Barkley that got him. But Kenny Smith, when he goes this late in the ball game, and he hasn't knocked down at least one shot from the behind the three-point line, he starts thinking about it a whole lot. That shot is a whole lot more difficult for him to make.
He was 1 of 6 in game 2. Barkley inside, or he could do nothing.
And Rudy T trying to wait. The next dead ball, he's going to get a timeout by the Phoenix Suns. He's trying to wait for it, but he might wait too long here. So instead of having a chance to get it to within 10, it's 21.
Boy, the second quarters have been good for the Suns. They had 43 points in the second quarter in game 1. That was a club record, and they're off and running again here in the second stanza. Here's Marley with a three. They're going crazy here in America West Arena. 61-37. The world champions are reeling here in game 2. 8 seconds on the shot clock. He shoots it with 2, and Horry, as the shot clock expired, able to quiet the crowd a little bit there.
Well, that gets the crowd out of it, but for Houston, they're going to have to find a way here in the second half to come back and get some easier shots at the basket.
Barkley going to work again. This time Chilcutt comes down with it. Barkley now 7 of 12 from the field, 19 points, and the first half is over. And the Pacific Division champion Phoenix Suns have made a huge statement again here in game 2 in the first half. 61-40. Barkley with 19, KJ with 14, Person with 12. And Barkley is focused.
He's the guy that gets him going. You see it right here, how excited he is. That makes it so everyone on this team has to give the same effort.
The Reebok halftime report will be coming up. Ernie Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will be joining us from the halftime. As earlier tonight, Indiana in overtime coming from behind to defeat the New York Knicks to take a 2-1 lead, and we're going to stay right here. We're not.
Up we go into the wild blue yonder. I love it. I love this game.
Yeah, I'm looking for those things that help you hang stuff. No, it helps you locate the things in the wall.
Okay.
I know it's a stud. A stud.
Oh, yeah. A stud finder.
True value. No matter what you're looking for, we're there to help you find it. Like right now, you can find this Rubbermaid chair for only $4.99 and this set of yard lights for $19.99.
Hey, it's true. Help is just around the corner.
There's a place in the Big Apple where New Yorkers rush to be on the cutting edge. It's Jean-Louis David. A touch of Paris right in the middle of Manhattan. So if you're looking for a new you, drop in anytime at any of their locations. You don't need an appointment, just your Visa card. Because when it comes to your hair and Jean-Louis David, American Express just won't cut it. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Now eating at McDonald's gets you the biggest break ever.
I won! Yes!
It's the Monopoly game, only at McDonald's. With over 50 million prizes, it's supersized excitement.
I want a Dodge Viper!
Shopping sprees, cruises.
Sega Game Gear with Sonic Triple Trouble.
Get a game piece on these favorites like a medium soft drink. Win big instantly, or collect a Monopoly and win. So go directly to McDonald's and eat, play, win.
$1 million! Have you had your break today?
The Reebok Halftime Report is brought to you by Reebok.
When they won the first game of this series, the Suns were up 18 at the half. Tonight, they have a 21-point lead over the Houston Rockets in Game 2, trying to take a 2-love lead in this Western Conference semifinal series. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Reebok Halftime Report, joined by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I looked for better things out of the Rockets after considering that Game 1 they were playing just a couple of days after a real emotional 5-game series. What's up here tonight with the Rockets?
The Phoenix Suns have taken the Rockets out of everything that they do well. They're double-teaming Hakeem Olajuwon in the post and making him take poor shots, and they're rebounding the ball very well and running off of that. They really understand how to play Houston, and they're doing a good job of it.
Let's get a clip from the first half of action here to show what Hakeem Olajuwon is trying to do against the Phoenix Suns. You know, he struggled in first game, and again, as you said, they're kind of taking him out of his rhythm, big guy.
Yeah, he's got to look out for the double team. There's somebody there. Kevin Johnson is right there on him to force him out. They force the pass, then he's way out of his range and shooting the ball from 20 feet, which is exactly what Phoenix wants from him.
As a result, it is 61-40. Hakeem does have 10 points. Charles Barkley 19 to lead the Phoenix attack. Coming up, we'll take a look at the Knicks and Pacers, the first game of our TNT doubleheader. The Pacers are up 2-1. Highlights next.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
Sam used every wall in the house for a backboard.
He looks just like me anyway, so I think he got that from me.
He can do that maneuvering and get by.
I like to stick to him when he steals it.
He can steal a ball. 58 feet out. Swish. He makes me feel 10 feet tall just to talk about him.
Kenny would get it.
Guess he got it from his mama.
You got the winning color.
My car is the second biggest investment I have. You know, I don't want to ruin it. I myself and my family trust Pennzoil enough to use it. I believe in it. They believe in it. And it hasn't let me down.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
You know, I don't worry about my vehicle. I don't worry about getting up. Is it going to run? Is it going to break down on me? It's not going to.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
100% cotton wrinkle-free Dockers. Pants so soft, they shrug off wrinkles.
Do not adjust your sets. That is a 3-touchdown lead for the Suns over the Rockets after 24 minutes at America West. The Reebok halftime report continues. Do not adjust your sets on this one either. Indiana in overtime beats New York 97-95. The Knicks have given away a couple of games, Kareem.
Yeah, they've given away 2 games, and for both teams, the way they've played, lots of turnovers, poor shooting, not playing a good mental game. I didn't expect this from either team in the playoffs.
Keep in mind, Patrick Ewing has been ailing. The Cavs are really hurting him, and They're not getting real quality time out of the big guy, and he's in pain. And New York's in pain now, too, down 2-1. They were up by 8 going to the fourth quarter. Here comes Indiana. Reggie somehow with a glass creation, part of an 11-1 run. The big Dutch boy in the paint, Rick Smith from outside the lane. Got the gooseneck going up there. So pretty, that jumper. He had 21 points. We go to overtime, tied at 88. Reggie strong to the hole. They're up 96-90. Then it's Indiana almost blowing a 6-point lead late. Derek Harper from way out there. 96-95. The score was 97-95. Knicks got one more chance. That's for the win from Charles Oakley, and it's short. And Indiana at home at Market Square wins it 97-95. Let's hear from Pat Riley.
Well, it's a tough loss. I mean, we feel like, we should be ahead 3-zip. We feel that way, but we're not. And you got to finish games. You got to execute. You got to play hard, right down to the wire. You can't get frustrated. This is a very, very tenacious basketball team that has a lot of firepower, and, we broke down.
Looking at your old coach looking pretty weary after that one. Another tough loss for the Knicks. What do you look for in Game 4 of this series, Kareem?
Well, I look for the Knicks to at least play smart, not throw the ball away, get the ball to the people that they want to shoot it where they want them to shoot it. They're going to have to work harder at those types of things and execute in order to get back into this.
They need to seal the deal. In the last 7.5 minutes of that game in regulation, no field goals for the New York Knicks. Back to wrap things up right after this.
How easy is it to save 25% on AT&T? This easy. With AT&T True Savings, our simplest way to save 25% on calls to everyone. Spend just $10 a month and we'll subtract 25% off your AT&T bill. That's it. You can call anyone, anytime, anywhere in the U.S. Talk to your brother in Texas. Catch up with friends in Florida. With AT&T, saving 25% to everyone is easy. Just call.
Your true voice.
ท่าทางเหนื่อยเชียวอย่างนี้แหละต้องรื้อกลับระบบต้องหาคนช่วยเสียเงินแต่ก็ไม่ดีขึ้นใช่ว่ะอย่างนี้ต้อง IBM เฮ้ยงั้นต้องซื้อฮาร์ดแวร์เพิ่มสิไม่ใช่ IBM เขามีบริการปรึกษาการจัดระบบเขาจะมาอยู่กับคุณจนงานเรียบร้อยเลยคุณผมขึ้นเลยครับขายเลยครับ
I am not what I wear. I'm not a pair of pants or a shirt. I'm not in touch with my inner child. I don't read poetry, and I'm not politically correct. I'm just a guy, and I don't have time to think about what I wear because I've got a lot of important guy things to do. 100% cotton, wrinkle-free pants and shorts that don't require a lot of thought. Hager, stuff you can wear.
Girl, I was sitting there with Rhonda playing the Monopoly game at McDonald's. It's easy when you buy large or medium drinks, supersized fries, or hash browns. Just pull off the tab and check out the back. Can't you see yourself winning instant prizes like delicious food, a Jeep Cherokee, $1 million? And you can win instantly. Or collect a Monopoly to win, and guess what? Girl, I won! Mickey D's in the house!
Play the Monopoly game at McDonald's, because with over 50 million prizes, the next winner could be you.
Have you had your break today?
And welcome back. So what, you ask, was the fallout from the Michael Jordan uniform caper last night in Orlando? His Airness took the court in black and white shoes rather than the team's all-black sneaks. He was sporting his old number 23 rather than number 45. And, yes, the league took notice. MJ was fined $5,000 for the shoes. The team, $25,000 for the unapproved number change. Now, what will happen in Game 3? Jordan, we are told, wants to wear number 23. The league has notified the Bulls that the only number he should be wearing is 45, and if that's not the case, they're not going to do this on a game-to-game basis. They're going to settle it when the playoffs are all over. They said they don't want to distract from what is, a great series between Orlando and Chicago. What do you make of this whole mess?
I think it's much ado about things that have nothing to do with the game. It doesn't matter what number he wears. I think they're just trying to show everyone that they are in control.
And who's in control of the series, we will find out tomorrow. Game 3 of that Chicago-Orlando part of a TNT doubleheader tomorrow night. Kareem will be here for that. We're also going to have Billy Crystal joining us because we're going to be talking movies. Kareem's in Forget Paris. It's going to be a festive Friday night an NBA playoff doubleheader here on TNT. Still to come, the final 24 minutes from America West, where the Suns are kind of in control of this thing, but you never know. 61-40, they lead the Rockets. Third quarter coming up.
The Reebok Halftime Report has been brought to you by Reebok.
It's all about concentration. If I get hungry, I grab a Snickers.
Packed with fresh roasted peanuts, thick milk chocolate, and caramel. Snickers stops the hunger.
There's a hunger inside you.
在女將高當地當地咩嘅？家咩會計 computer， 要除了毛病。你檢查過 confidence 登話嘛？我拍過字樣電話，也是無效啊。你知冇？我推過 IBM 嘅資料。 他們領導電話裡幫你查出唔對，就將毛病處理好啊！真好啊，打電話對啊！
What did they say to get you to leave AT&T?
Heard about the big savings I can get you over AT&T?
Did they offer your business proof?
Not to worry.
Did they throw numbers at you?
10%.
5%.
No matter what they say, only AT&T guarantees competitive prices. Call 1-800-COMPARE for the facts. We're so sure our prices are competitive, we'll give your business 1 month's worth of long distance, up to $200 if you don't agree. So now you can say,
I'm switching to AT&T.
AT&T, for the life of your business.
It's all about concentration. If I get hungry, I grab a Snickers.
Packed with fresh roasted peanuts, thick milk chocolate, and caramel. Snickers stops the hunger.
There's a hunger inside you.
Do you need a new roof? RJR Roofing is Kansas City's roofing professional. Whether your home or business needs a composition roof, cedar shake, tile, or slate, RJR has the experience and skill to handle the job. RJR guarantees the homeowner a quality roof with no worries. They are certified and follow all regulations governing the roofing industry. To get the best roof for your money, call today. RJR Roofing, Kansas City's roofing professional. Call 254-5353.
The Yes Loan from United Companies lets you use your home equity to secure the money you need.
When we first bought our house, interest rates were high. Then the medical bills came, and we were in over our heads. United Companies helped us refinance our property. With a lower rate, we paid off our bills and lowered our monthly note by over $300.
It's fast, it's easy, and there's no out-of-pocket expense to apply. The Yes Loan from United Companies is your equity solution.
Suns by 21, and in game one they led at halftime by 18 points. And Jack Gibbons, I don't know what Paul Westphal could complain about in the locker room at halftime.
No, but I do think Rudy Tomjanovich has his work cut out for them to try to make sure that Houston comes out and try to find a way to get back in this ball game. I think the one thing that Houston must do at some point in this series is put a body on people, make it more physical around the basket for the Phoenix Suns. If they don't do that, this series might be over.
Yeah, they're really not rebounding well. Let's take a look now at the Budweiser game summary. We'll show you how the Suns are shooting the basketball. They are just doing everything extremely well. Look at this. Game one, 68%. They're still up there at 52 in game two.
52%. You see Houston at 34%. That just doesn't happen. That happens because Phoenix has been aggressive on defense. They have not given them any easy baskets around the basket or in the open floor. And look at the rebound total. Once again, they have doubled up on the Houston Rockets in the first half.
And a lot of it's just emotion. We're going to show you some of the emotion in this first half by the Phoenix Suns. Watch this block.
Yeah, we showed you Barkley's numbers earlier, what he has done in the playoffs, but you can't put up on the board the intensity level that he has played with in the playoffs so far. And then this shows on this play. Now watch this shot. This is after the Suns had scrambled, and they still are able to come up with a high percentage shot. And you see Barkley. He gives this kind of emotion. Everyone must.
Well, it's contagious. Watch Joe Klein.
Well, this is one reason why Olajuwon has struggled. Klein put his body on him early, would not let Olajuwon push him off the low block. And the reaction after the play, Klein has been a real key figure in the playoffs in this series so far.
And this place really got excited when Dan Marley hit a three, and Charles Barkley kind of liked it as well.
Yeah, one thing Houston had done is taken Marley out of the game. They had not given him any three-point shots to this one, and this is what happens in the Rockets. You see how they feel after Dan Marley knocks down the three.
All right, now let's go to Nicole Watson. Nicole?
Well, Gary, Rudy T told his team at halftime he's concerned about their effort. He says he's very adamant it's got to change for the second half. More specifically, he's worried about fast break points and rebounding. He says the Phoenix Suns are much too comfortable on offense. We have to make them uncomfortable. He says we have to remind them of the game that happened last year to tonight when they were down by a 20-point deficit, the Phoenix Suns. He said we can do it too.
Nicole, thank you very much. Well, the 1-2 punch of the Rockets thus far has fizzled, as Olajuwon and Drexler have not stepped up like you might have anticipated. The two guys who were so big in round one, you can see 8 of 22 from the field. And between the two of them, they have only 17 points.
And then another key figure, you look at the shooting there. Look at the Houston guards. Kenny Smith, the starter at the point guard spot, is 0 for 3. And Sam Cassell, the backup at the point guard spot, is 0 for 4. So between them, 0 for 7, just 2 points out of that point guard position.
Well, a year ago today, there was a great catch-up, but it was by the Phoenix Suns. They were down by 20 points in Game 2 and were able to pull it out. Houston would like to have that same script as they come back, trailing by 21 at the halfway point.
Well, they're going to have to find some energy somewhere to do it. I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to start on the defensive end of the floor. And if they can do that, they will be able to get out and get some easier baskets. They've had to work hard.
Chilka trying the three from outside. Kevin Johnson loses it, brings it back out. Just underway now. Second half, Game 2. The Suns trying to go up 2-0 in this best-of-7 series. Barkley talking to Ori. Out to Kevin Johnson. Good spacing by the Suns. And Klein, who was 2 of 2 in the first half, this is his first shot. Rebound is cleared by Chilka. Kenny Smith trying to force the issue, draws the foul. And that's the kind of Kenny Smith play that Rudy T is looking for.
He's got to have it from his guards because they set the tempo so much for this Houston team. Normally it's from making the shots from the outside. The three-point line comes into play. It fires up the rest of the team. But what happens here, Houston gets a rebound finally, a clean rebound. It starts the fast break. They get a high percentage look at the basket.
Joe Klein committed his third foul. Kenny Smith will go to the line. He's a brilliant free throw shooter. Shot 85% in the regular season, and he has not missed in the playoffs. He was 18 of 18 coming into the game. Now 20 of 20 in the playoffs. 61-42 Phoenix. Kevin Johnson had 10 assists in the first half. He had 11 assists in Game 1 at the halfway point. 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, as I try to feel what's happening right now, it seems to me Phoenix not playing with that same intensity level that they started the game with. They might be just a little relaxed here.
Well, they've had everything go their way. Kenny Smith, though, is playing hard, and Paul Westphal looking on, maybe with some of that concern you just voiced. The Suns have had the tendency, we'll mention this, to let some teams back in. Not in the playoffs thus far, but in the regular season. A lot of that is lack of defense and lack of intensity. But Kevin Johnson able to hit that shot from outside.
You know, you mentioned KJ had 10 assists in that first half, and that's why Kenny Smith has to back off of him. He's done a great job of penetrating and getting shots for other people.
Hakeem against Klein. Klein doing his very best to keep Olajuwon from hitting that shot. Green with a rebound. That's 8 rebounds for AC Green. And that ball deflected by Chilka. The Suns in the regular season turned the ball over only 14.2 times a game. That was #1 in the NBA and also a Phoenix Suns record.
Now, he might make that one because at least he's been more involved in the offense. Doesn't miss that one. It looked the best that he's let go from behind the three-point line. But Kenny Smith has to start knocking some of those down.
Kevin Johnson with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Crossover dribble inside. The penetration been big in these first 2 games. They have not been able to stop that explosive first step of Kevin Johnson.
Well, no one can really, but Kenny Smith has to become better off keeping him out of the basket off the dribble.
Hakeem that time looking like Olajuwon you'd expect in the first half. He really struggled, but now with 12 points, he's carried this team so many times, and now maybe he's ready to do it again here in the second half. Barkley spin move, and Ori's getting a lesson there. He missed the shot. Robert Horry saw a different move that time. Drexler with a 3. And you see the makings of a mini comeback right now by Houston.
Well, the energy is not in the building. It's not coming from the crowd, and it's really not coming from the guys on the floor. So if the Rockets are going to get back in this game, they have to continue just as they're going, and they have to make it happen very quickly here. A stop would be nice.
Wesley Person had a strong first half, 2 of 2 from three-point land. Kevin Johnson using the screen by Green. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Klein missing. Here comes Drexler. Releasing quickly was Olajuwon. Klein reaches in, and that's his 4th foul. He was going to come out anyway as Danny Shays was waiting at the scorer's table.
Well, Paul Westphal might have to burn a timeout here pretty quickly and pull his team over and just let them know that they have to make sure they don't allow the Rockets to get back in this game. They just don't have the energy, and Houston does at this point.
So Klein with 4. Olajuwon at the line. He has 12 points, and he misses the free throw.
I really thought Drexler and Olajuwon would come out and put up big numbers on the scoreboard in this ball game. Drexler in particular after having been tossed in the second period of game 1.
But they are starting the second half. How you thought they would start the ball game.
Starting to work a little bit better.
21-point lead from Whittle to 15, and Kevin Johnson fouled by Kenny Smith, who got a piece of him. Kevin Johnson this year, it's been an uphill battle. He played in only 47 games, an assortment of injuries. He was held out in game 3 in the second half against Portland as he's had problems with a hamstring. He missed in between series 1 and 2 4 days of practice. He's had acupuncture twice. He's like one of those high-performance cars, and he is hitting on everything. He is unstoppable, but there's times when something just doesn't work, and physically that's been a problem for him.
Well, and in trying to find a positive in KJ's situation, you can look over there on the bench and see Elliot Perry and understand that Paul Westphal might never have known how good this kid could be had it not been for KJ being injured. He had a tremendous year, finished second in the most improved player.
Chilcutt looking into Drexler, and that's going to be a foul, I guess, on Shays. He and Chilcutt had quite a collision. Many people feeling that could have been an offensive foul. Instead, Danny Shays comes away with a foul. They'll take it out on the far side.
Well, the reason why this call was made the way it was is because Houston right now is playing with more energy. And you reward the team that's playing with the energy, and right now it's Houston.
The second team foul against the Suns. Olajuwon hit the side of the basket that time. Chilcutt gives him another opportunity. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, they're doing a great job on Olajuwon. Great job.
And he's in a lot of trouble. That ball deflected out, and Houston will have it with 5 seconds on the shot clock. You know, Shays and Klein really have done a nice job on Olajuwon, kind of switching off, and here's a good example by Danny Shays.
Well, they play him differently. You see Shays on top of that time. Klein will stay behind because he's bigger and stronger.
Tough shot by Drexler with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes Kevin Johnson. 7:48 to go in the third. 67-50 the Suns. Kevin off balance, got it anyway. Kevin Johnson in the first round averaged 17.7.
I know Rudy T over there on the Rocket bench. He would love to come with Cassell right now. Better defender with KJ off the dribble.
Olajuwon is fouled by Shays, who reached in. Cassell was sick, if you joined us late in this broadcast, had a bad cold, did not come to the shoot around. Didn't know if he would even play tonight.
He had a whole lot of what Barkley had in game 1. Had to have some
they must be eating the same restaurant or something, you think?
I don't know, but he had to have a lot of IV treatment today, a lot of fluids in his body after becoming ill. But he has not responded as Barkley did in game 1.
Boy, Kevin Johnson's responded here in the third. He scored all 8 of Phoenix's points. There's Chilcutt. Good hard work, but he missed the shot.
Well, he's not going to get many of those. At least, though, Houston comes up with an offensive rebound.
Barkley will bring it out to Kevin Johnson. Suns have won 8 straight at America West Arena, going back to the regular season of play. Here's AC from the corner. Rebound by Ori. Ahead it comes to Drexler. You see Green hustling back, as he always is. He's always moving, always hustling. And it goes to Olajuwon against Shays, and Hakeem looks much better this half. He seems to have a better rhythm about it.
Well, the good thing is he's touching the ball every time now. And you have to come play him, and what will eventually start to happen is if he can't get the shot, he'll start getting high percentage shots from some other people.
Olajuwon with 15 points. And that's off of Hakeem, and it'll be 10 seconds on the shot clock. We have a timeout for the Phoenix Suns. 6:28 to go in the third. And Houston, who trailed at halftime by 18, trying to cut into that lead.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by GMC Truck, the street of experience, and by Dutch Boy Paint. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy.
Reputation for truck strength. Now we're adding a new dimension of even greater comfort with a luxury of leather and a refined new interior, surrounded by all the strength you'd expect from GMC Truck, which may be the greatest comfort of all.
I had this dream. I retired. It's time for me to move away from the game of basketball. I became a weak-hitting AA outfielder with a below-average arm. I had a $16 meal per diem. I rode from small town to small town on a bus. And then I returned to the game I loved. I shot 7 for 28. Can you imagine it? Nah.
The Phoenix Suns have done a great job of throwing different defenses at Olajuwon, but watch as he makes the cut here to the low post. He gets the basketball in this way. Barkley will end up here. He does not come on the double team. That means Olajuwon can turn around and get the shot at the basket. The time said he has been most effective is when the defense has not come on the double team. Watch Barkley. He does not come, and he knocks down the turnaround jump shot.
He is 2 of 4. Let's go to Nicole Watson.
Well, Gary, although he was the first one out of the locker room at halftime, Sam Cassell told me that his head was throbbing and his body felt achy. He said he feels terrible. But he was getting his team ready for the second half, telling them we have to run things. We have to push it up. Let's go.
Well, and as you speak of Sam, he's coming back into the ball game. And say when you're down by 21, your head throbs even more, right?
Yeah, that makes it hurt a whole lot worse. And the best thing that could happen to Cassell is he come in and gets himself a quick basket or a direct pass that leads to an assist, something that could take his mind off of his health right now.
Well, Nicole was talking. Hakeem picked up his second foul. Look at this. Kevin Johnson right now is unguardable. Cassell comes in and gets a dose of that quickness.
I know Cassell got beat on that play, but that really started before he came into the ballgame. KJ has been running so freely on offense. It's tough to come off the bench and stop that.
And he has all 10 of the Suns' points here in the third quarter. 71-54. KJ with 24 for the ball game. 5.5 minutes to go in the third.
They've got to get Barkley a shot.
Hakeem hustling. It'll be off of Olajuwon. Let's go back to Kevin, that last explosive move.
Well, here he is, and Cassell knows that he's going to try to go to the basket. He jumps a little bit too far to the baseline side, and KJ gets it off the backboard. Well, that's a tough move there. Hard to stop.
And it comes to Barkley. The double team coming. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Charles a foul away. He has 21 points.
Well, you knew that was coming. He hadn't touched the ball much in this third period. They haven't been able to deal with him the whole game.
Well, that little push, that little surge has been beaten back right now by the Suns. Barkley on the steal attempt picks up his first foul.
And I think it's more because the Rockets haven't done a better job of taking advantage of him during this first 6 minutes or so of this third period. Olajuwon gets it on the low post. Shays cannot stop him there. Shays did a much better job when he got on top and would not allow him to catch the ball.
Inflicted the injury there by Charles Barkley. Barkley, if you keep the camera on him, you'll be entertained every second you're out here.
And some players have a knack at knowing when the spotlight's on.
Well, this guy, I don't think I've seen him as focused, and I know he's having a lot more fun. He's healthy, and that spells trouble for anybody right now in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see how healthy he is in this back-to-back situation on Saturday and Sunday. It hasn't been as much a concern this year, but you remember last year he just couldn't go back-to-back.
Wesley Person missing from outside. 5 minutes to go in the third, and Ori almost traveled with it. Olajuwon will back it out. He'll shoot it. Didn't get close. Put back by Ori, and he's fouled.
Olajuwon was screaming because he thought he got fouled on the play until Ori came up with the rebound and the foul. He turned and backed off very quickly.
And Barkley very quickly has picked up his second foul as Ori will go to the line. Well, one of the changes tonight by Rudy T was to put Ori on Barkley. And I think many times when you are given that assignment, it takes you out of your game offensively at the other end.
Well, you could say that with Robert Horry, but then you think back to game one when he was just 1 for 4 from the field. You know that his mind was not focused on his offense anyway. He has been more active in this game, and he will have to continue to be if they're going to pull this game out.
4:37 to go now in the third. Kevin Johnson. Oh, Barkley tried to follow. He almost pulled it off. Put back anyway. He's made some plays here tonight that just stops you dead still.
And I know I say you have to put a body on people, and some people it's more difficult than others. It's difficult to keep Barkley out of there, but
Jokic with his second three attempt in the second half. There's a foul on Danny Shays. Let's watch this play inside.
Now this is Robert Horry trying to keep him out of there. That is not going to happen. And there's the second shot from Barkley. But watch how he moves without the basketball. I mean, that's the key thing. He finds the open place on the floor and just goes to get it.
That foul at the other end was on Shays, his fourth. So Klein has 4, Shays has 4. They've got 18 fouls they can use as they bring in their third guy by committee, Wayman Tisdale. And that's exactly been their plan, is to spread them out against Hakeem.
Another three-headed monster. You saw it in the game last night when Chicago was able to bounce back and beat the Orlando Magic. They used their 3 centers.
Now let's take a look at tonight's GMC scoreboard. What a remarkable comeback, Goose, in this one. 97-95. Huge win in Market Square Arena.
Both wins for the Pacers have been comebacks, and the Knicks must really be thinking about that right now.
Well, Charles Smith and Patrick Ewing fouled out in regulation. You saw that note a moment ago. They just couldn't score any points. Out it comes now to Tisdale. Barkley tried to follow. Olajuwon with a rebound. 3:53 to go in the third. Jokic. And that's a tough catch.
Gotta shoot it. Gotta shoot it. You're right at the basket. You're 6'10".
Watch this. And Barkley changes hands, and Olajuwon commits the foul. That's the third on Hakeem.
Now that's the difference right there in the two teams. You saw Barkley get to the paint. He gives up his body, knows he's going to get hit, and he gets 2 free throws out of it. On the other end, Jokic does not, and they get nothing.
Well, we talked to Paul Westphal today, and he feels that Barkley's having as good a year as when he was the MVP in the NBA in 92-93. You look at the numbers, he was 7th in scoring. He would have been 4th in rebound. He didn't qualify for that because he didn't play enough games. And what he's done in the playoffs is nothing short of spectacular. He started out the year on the injury list. He had a strained abdominal muscle, and there was great concern that it could be a career-ending injury, but he fought through it. And Maureen, his wife, I was kidding her today. I said, what did you feed him at home before Tuesday night's game that got him so sick?
He won't have it again, whatever it was.
(77-58) Phoenix. 3:42 in the third. Barkley, another big night, and we have a timeout by the Houston Rockets. Rudy T somehow trying to find something to get back into this game.
Sunday nights this fall, the NFL is on TNT.
Throw in how well AC Green has played in the playoffs, and you come with 3 effective players night in and night out, and that is a tough combination to beat.
Elliot Perry has checked in for KJ. Nice spin move by Drexler, can't get it to go. They're shooting 36%. Houston is. The Suns 49%.
And Drexler now 4 of 13 from the field.
Well, they got tossed early in game 1, and tonight it has not come back to the kind of Drexler numbers you would expect. Elliot Perry, that's a 2. Elliot Perry was second in the NBA only to John Stockton field goal percentage-wise. What a year he has had. Talking about the guards, the point guards, as Hakeem with one of those patented moves, a different look, which he can give you so many times.
Well, he has been much better tonight. He has been the Olajuwon that you thought. Drexler gets the steal here, and he throws it down. But the baskets have been few and far between for Clyde.
Clyde Drexler's been healthy. He missed 47 games the last 2 years when he was with Portland. Wants to play back to that level when he's a 9-time All-Star for the Blazers.
Well, that's
Perry with another. That's a 2 again.
Exactly the play. Now, what's happening here? Barkley is getting the ball on the low post. You're coming on the double team with Sam Cassell. Barkley has no trouble throwing out of that. You can see right over him, and the extra pass leads to the open shot.
And Paul Westphal said one of the things that people don't talk about on our team is how unselfish we are.
Yeah. You know, you average 110 points a game over the course of the season. You've got to be willing to give up the basketball to the open man. Phoenix did that.
81-64, 2 minutes to go here in the third. Into the Chuckster, who has 25 points and 9 rebounds. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Look at this pass.
Now they come with a little bit bigger player, but the same result. A clear shot on the other side. So Houston getting no rotation out of the double team.
Boy, that was a skip pass you won't see very often, and almost got away from AC. And then Barkley over the back picks up his 3rd foul.
You know, it's one thing coming on a double team, but the thing that makes it effective is if you come and make your body as big as possible. I mean, you can't come with your hands down to the side because someone's going to get an open shot.
Well, Barkley is very volatile, as you can see. He walks on the edge sometimes. He led the NBA in technical fouls this year.
Barkley lives on the edge. he doesn't walk on the edge, and a lot of times he's hanging over the edge.
Well, Barkley this year played like Superman in the estimation of Paul Westphal. And he made the comment, he says, it's really fun to play the game when you're Superman. And moments tonight, he has been flying through the air. Here's Horry after the miss. 81-65 Phoenix, a 3. Well, it's just not there tonight for Drexler. Rebound AC Green. Green coming up with rebound number 9. Marley, see how they extend on Marley. Marley in the series last year against Houston shot only 30% from the field. Barkley to the hole. He's fouled by Horry. Look at Barkley. He is upset he didn't get to go. Looking at his hands.
He doesn't want to miss anything, does he? He wants every shot to go, even the ones he gets pounded on. Watch how quickly he gets by Olajuwon. Not a good matchup that far away from the basket.
Not a good matchup near the basket, far away from the basket. There's no way to really play this guy one-on-one. And Barkley not happy, but I'll tell you what, the way his team is playing right now, in his deepest of his thoughts and deepest of heart, he's got to be very pleased. As you can see thus far, the Suns continue to shoot well.
With Barkley and KJ, we just mentioned their numbers. KJ had 10 assists at the half, 11 now. Barkley's still rebounding well. He's leading the playoffs rebounding category so far.
He misses the second one. He split them, and it's 82-65. A minute 17 in the third. Sam Cassell using that high pick, and Cassell gets it to go.
Now, Cassell can give him any offense at all here. That's going to be good because he's doing a better job on defense, taking the point guard out of the mix right now. And I know Rudy T would like to play him as much as possible, even as ill as he is here.
Sam hit his first shot. He was 0 for 4 prior to that. Marley off to Barkley again. Robert Horry says, here we go again.
They also have done a better job of keeping AC Green off the offensive board.
Barkley got it in low, and Horry had absolutely nothing he could do.
No, that's just not a good matchup. If you're going to put Horry there, you have to come quicker with a double team. Barkley's just too strong.
Yep. Barkley now with 28 points. 84-67. Into Hakeem. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cassell trying to create to Chilton. He reversed it. He drew the foul.
Tell you what,
to go on AC Green, and on AC Green, that's his first.
The Suns defense, it has been very aggressive. Now you'll see Pete Chilka get to the paint right here, but watch, he has to change it up because the white shirts that come down to get him. AC Green picks up the foul, but nothing easy.
Yep. Well, it was not that way in the regular season. The Suns had moments where they weren't stopping anybody, and there's a lot of talk about you can't win the NBA without playing good defense. But since the playoffs have started, they have just taken it about 3 levels up. A lot of defense, as you well know, Jack, is just effort.
Well, you know the thing is about Phoenix, you kind of got the impression all year that they were thinking, hey, we can get through the regular season. We will turn it up a notch or two in the playoffs. But that's very difficult to do for most teams. But they certainly have done that. I mean, they have improved on the defensive end of the floor. They're a better rebounding team here in the playoffs. Their point differential is better here in the playoffs than it was in the regular season.
Yeah, as we documented earlier, they're number 1 in all the important statistical categories. 24 seconds now left in this third quarter of play. Can it clear it out here for the Chuckster with 13 seconds? There's about a second difference between the game and the shot clock. And here he goes, slashing in and draws the foul. 6.4 seconds. You know, they do this so often, and there's been so many times where Barkley, instead of going in, he'll just pull up and hit one from outside, so you really don't know what to do in the circumstance.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, you have Barkley with the basketball that far away from the basket. You know that once he drops his head and puts it on the floor, there's only one thing that's going to happen. He's going to take the shot. So why not run someone at him, force him to give it up, and force someone else to hurt you in that situation?
Well, Barkley's put a lot of hurt on this Houston team. You see his numbers tonight. Close to another double-double. 85-69. The Suns had 130 points Tuesday night. They are leading the NBA in scoring in the playoffs. They were number 2 in the regular season, second only to Orlando. They're averaging 119.8 points a game through the first 4. And I think she's very proud of her hubby, don't you think?
I think she should be.
86-69. Drexler and Barkley challenged again. He's going to come away with a foul. But what drama.
But the challenge is what counts. I mean, if you look over the course of this ball game, and you think about the times the Houston Rockets have gone to the basket uncontested, it might be 2 or 3 times.
I tell you, Barkley is playing like a young pup. The energy he's had. He just picked up his 4th foul.
I mean, Drexler knows Barkley's going to come. He got him before. And Drexler goes more aggressively that time. And Barkley almost does make a good play on that one.
I would assume, Jack, what that does, it makes a statement for the rest of the series, too. You know that Charles Barkley is going to challenge you when you take it inside.
Well, and that's what I've been saying about Houston. I mean, they have to get more aggressive as people like KJ and Elliott Perry and some of the other guys that have taken the drive to the basket. I mean, they have to get more aggressive. They have to put bodies on people and take that option away.
Barkley will sit down with 30 points and 9 rebounds. Joe Klein will check in with 1.7 seconds left here in the third. Drexler now with 13 points. He's 5 of 15 from the field. Well, they led by 21 at half, so they've at least cut into some of that. Houston has. They're down by 16. Marley with a bullet pass. Ainge, who plays in baseball in the major leagues, fields it, leaves it short, and Charles Barkley continues his onslaught, continues his remarkable playoff activity.
Well, here he is taking the ball to the basket against Robert Horry. He's been doing that all night. Not a good matchup. You see his reaction.
Quarter number 4 coming up here in game 2. The Suns on top by 16. They're wrapping Charles Barkley's finger. He actually injured that finger in the regular season of play. He went up to block a shot and came up through the net and kind of split the ring finger from the little finger. So he's had some difficulty with it, but tonight, not a lot. No. 10 of 17 for 30 points.
He only has 30 points and 9 rebounds, so finger not hurting too badly.
Marley taking it inside. All right, Nicole, let's go to you. What have you got?
Well, Gary, Rudy gave his team a little pep talk during that timeout. He says he doesn't think that they're out of it. He said it's just 16 points. Quote, we can do it, we can do it. Let's get into it right now.
Well, he's not speaking on deaf ears because this Houston team has had that toughness. As Rudy has said, I like our team when we get backed up, and right now they are backed up, down by 18.
Yes, they are. They've been there before, though. Think back to last year. They lost their first 2 games in Houston. It looks as though the Phoenix Suns will hold court here, win the games here. Now Houston has to go back and find a way to win.
Let's go back to what you were just talking about. A remarkable series, a very unusual series. The Suns went into the Summit, won the first 2, then lost 2 here. So the home team didn't win in the first 4 games. And then, of course, it ended up to a 7th game. Houston went on then to defeat Utah in the Western Conference Finals, and the Knicks in 7th for the World Championship. AC Green missing. Clyde Drexler with the rebound. AC not shooting as well tonight, but contributing in other ways.
While he's playing the defense, he's still rebounding fairly well.
And foul as Ellie tucks inside. AC tonight is 1 of 6 for the field. He has 4 points, but 9 rebounds.
Can't say enough about how important it is to put a body on people when they take the ball to the hole this time of the year.
AC with his 2nd foul. Ellie at the line.
I mean, the thing that the foul does, in addition to making you think about it the next time you drive to the basket, it takes a team out of their rhythm. I mean, if you've noticed one thing about this ball game and about really Houston in the first game as well, they've had no rhythm. They have had no consistency on the offensive end of the floor.
Kevin Johnson's had some rhythm, though. 24 points and 11 assists.
Yeah, the Phoenix team has been well in rhythm.
There's that jumper from about 18 feet out that Klein was nailing in game 1, and now Danny Shays has his own shot going.
It's going to be there because Olajuwon going down to help out every time on the low post.
90-71. Phoenix into Olajuwon. They doubling. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He traveled with it. He was bouncing off of bodies. Finally, he traveled with the ball. Let's go back to Danny Shays and his face-up jumper.
Now, the reason this works, watch Olajuwon take a trip down to the paint. Down to the low block. That leaves the center open on top, and he knocks it down.
In that replay, a pass intended for Shays got away from him. Turnover gives it back to the Houston Rockets. 90-71. Game 3 Saturday. Game 4 Sunday. If they continue on, they come back here Tuesday in America West Arena as Drexler with an easy basket inside. Haven't had very many of those.
No, that's about as easy as they've had in this game.
Drexler now with 15 points, 6 of 17 from the field. He'll let Kevin have that shot into Tisdale. Kevin will pop a 3, hit one earlier. And remember, Kevin Johnson in the regular season hit only 4 threes all regular season. He's got 2 here tonight.
He was 4 for 26 during the regular season, 2 for 2 tonight.
93-73. And Shays picks up another foul, and Danny Shays now has 5 fouls. We're going to have a timeout.
Well, Danny Shays didn't like the call at all. Olajuwon is very difficult to deal with on the low post. Both hands on. There's the foul.
Basketball Association is prohibited.
Here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. And in the paint, it's been going Phoenix's way.
Yes, it has, although the Rockets here in the second half is actually winning the battle of the boards, 15-9. But points in the paint way in the favor of the Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley and AC Green working the paint.
This is a frustrated, dejected Houston team. They came out of that torrid 5-game series down 2-1. They closed out Utah. They'd like to have had another day's rest before losing game 1 Tuesday. Now in danger of dropping behind 2 games to none. Cassell with a 3.
Well, I think you can talk about the fact they didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare in game 1. You can talk about that then, but now this is game 2. They've had time to refocus their attention on this Phoenix team. Phoenix just playing better tonight.
Wayman Tisdale with a jumper, his 2nd field goal of the night. Well, they were distracted by the official. An awful lot written and said about what happened in game 1. As Olajuwon goes inside, Green had it for a moment, and Cassell comes up with it. 9 minutes to go in the ball game. Cassell, stop-start move. Here's Ellie with a 3. And the rebound, AC tipped away by Olajuwon. The Suns will have it. That's 10 rebounds for AC Green. And he just continues on to be in those double figures each time.
One of those guys that does whatever it takes. He knows what you have to do this time of year to win. He has been in the playoffs every year he's been in the NBA.
That foul on Chucky Brown. That is his third. NBC will be describing all the action coming up in Game 3 Saturday at the Summit, as they'll have back-to-back Saturday, Sunday, the only series with a back-to-back here in the semifinal round. And they were just looking at some of the things that have happened. The home court team usually has the best advantage. They've won 59% of those back-to-back games. You would expect that.
Yeah. Chucky Brown banged knees with someone during that last possession. He is out of the ball game.
Charles Jones is in for the first time. There's Green with another rebound. The ball stripped. It'll be off of AC. AC didn't like that call. Brown in a lot of pain right now.
He thought he got fouled, and you would think in a game like this where you have a comfortable lead and everything's flowing your way, a call like that wouldn't make that much difference. But to AC Green, every possession is big.
Well, that's just the kind of focus that he has. Here's Olajuwon, just a magnificent move. You never cease to be amazed by Olajuwon. Every game, he shows you a different look, a different move.
Yeah, the only way Shays has been able to deal with him is to get on top and not allow him to catch the basketball. He'll have to start doing that again because Olajuwon working well in the second half.
Hakeem with 23. That's blocked by Jones. Kevin wanted goaltending. Marley with a 3. And AC is fouled from behind by Olajuwon. And Rudy T just shakes his head. They have run into a juggernaut here in the Suns team. 4th foul on Hakeem.
Well, but look at how hard he works to get the inside position. He should be shaking his head, but he should be shaking his head at the red shirts, not the striped shirts, because his guys are not doing what they have to do to keep him out of that.
Well, they were not a good rebounding team. They were 20th overall, last in offensive rebounds for the regular season. Whoa, Kevin Johnson hit the floor hard after he hit that shot. He's okay. There's Danny Manning. He'd like to be part of all this. Now with that blown-out knee, and we got a foul inside. Kevin Johnson hit pretty hard that time after he released that left-handed shot.
But he has just taken the Houston point guards to school. I mean, he is doing anything with the basketball he wants right now, and no one has hit him yet. I mean, there he is. He gets bumped by Charles Jones, but not enough to force him to miss the shot.
Kevin Johnson with 29 to go with Barkley's 30. That's a little too tall, even for Olajuwon. 97-78 the Suns. 7:08 left in quarter number 4. Phoenix looking to go 5-0 in the playoffs. They swept Portland and now trying to go 2-up in this series. Marley trying to shake Ellie. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 2 with 1. Tisdale.
Oh, man. That's the way it's been. What can you say? They're doing everything right here in this game.
Tisdale was 6 points. The Suns 1 point short of the century mark. Drexler with a 3. And the rebound by AC Green.
And now you're making it easier on the Phoenix defense because you're throwing up shots from the outside.
Drexler tonight is 6 of 18 from the field. Kevin Johnson slowing it down a tad with 6:17 to go in the game. Thunder having some fun right now. Marley, a long 3. His second 3, that should have been a 4.
It should have been.
10 points for Marley, and the Suns with a 102-78 lead. As you mentioned, they're doing it all right, as evidenced by this play of Wayman Tisdale.
Get a week's worth of action.
I'm Nicole Watson here with the president of the Phoenix Suns, Jerry Colangelo. You have got to be pleased with tonight. The playoffs, the Phoenix Suns playing well and just doing the job.
Well, we're playing our best basketball of the year right now, and we're very pleased.
You are going to take your expertise over to the Rattlers, the expansion team for baseball. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're looking forward to Major League Baseball. We've had a lot of interest. We have commitments for over 40,000 season tickets already. We don't play till 1998, but the Diamondbacks are going to be a great entry, I think.
We wish you the same success with them.
I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Let's go back to Gary.
All right, Nicole, Jerry Colangelo has to be pleased. The Suns are playing, as he said, the best basketball of the year.
Well, I think he hit that right. I think he's right on there. It's not any question as you see plays like that, and it's going to take a whole lot for the Rockets to regroup and find a way to win a game in this series.
Boy, the quickness of Elliott Perry. AC Green now with another rebound.
The other thing about Elliot Perry is how efficient he is. I mean, his numbers have really decreased here since KJ has become healthy, but he's still just as effective.
What's nice for the Suns right now, those back-to-back games, they've got Barkley and KJ on the bench right now, rested up for Saturday and Sunday. Reach-around foul. The Suns are 9 of 19 from three-point land. They were 5 of 13 in game one, but they've used their 3 points very judiciously. They've just complemented the rest of their game.
Well, you have the number 1 and the number 2 teams in the league over the course of the season, and three-pointers made and three-pointers attempted. Houston first, Phoenix second.
Houston and Phoenix hit over 7 a game in the regular season. The Suns were third in attempts. Houston was first in makes and attempts. Danny Ainge backing it out, taking some time off the clock, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Into Tisdale. John Taba has come in to guard him, and Wayman, who hit that buzzer beater a while ago, hits another one, and the Suns with their biggest lead of the ball game.
Well, you think about Phoenix, they're without Carl Herrera, who they would normally have guarding Charles Barkley on the low post. This could definitely have been a game they would have used Vernon Maxwell with Sam Cassell hurting. And ill today, all day long.
Vernon Maxwell did such a great job defensively on Dan Marley in the series last year. That foul is on Tisdale. A.C. Green is going to lead the ball game with 14 rebounds. Scored only 4 points, but that doesn't really show the contribution of the Green Machine, as they're starting to label him here in the Valley of the Sun.
Well, it really hasn't been a game where they've needed any offense from A.C. Green. And once again, when you look at what he and Barkley have brought to the team during the playoffs, I'm talking about emotion. I'm talking about intensity. I'm talking about leadership. Those are the things that you can't put on the stat sheet, but are invaluable when you're talking about winning games this time of the year.
4:28 left in this game. Elliot Perry in the ball game thus far has 6 points. He's hit all 3 of his shots. Into Tisdale. Tisdale working on Jones. Little jump hook. Jones with the rebound.
And think about it with Barkley now. He's still recovering from illness that he had during game one. And once again tonight, he's not had to play real big minutes to get his 30 points.
He played 30 minutes in game one, and he was glad he didn't have to go any further because he was feeling terrible. Tonight he looked like a new man physically. Well, we talked about the most improved player of the year award. This guy finished second. He had 15 votes to Dana Barros's 50. But you talk about most improved. Elliot Perry came from oblivion. I mean, here's a guy that looked like he's going to make the ball club. And Paul Westphal said many times we could have been battling to just get into the playoffs if Elliot Perry had not been able to step up when Kevin Johnson was hurt.
Sure, you look at Kevin Johnson. He played just 47 games all year, and most of those came after the All-Star break. Phoenix established themselves early with Elliot Perry in the starting lineup. For much of the season, he was leading the league in steals.
He started 51 games, and they were 38 and 13 when he's the starter.
And that's unbelievable when you think about how valuable KJ is.
Look at this. He'll go in. The little guy challenged him, and Klein with the follow. Joe Klein with 7 points. Klein had 12 points in game one. The centers have contributed. A lot of people are saying Phoenix cannot win this without a dominating center, but they're getting some nice contributions thus far in this series.
Well, they've done their job. And you talk about Phoenix not having a good center, a good low post kind of guy. But who needs a low post player when you can put Barkley down there, when you can bring A.C. Green in there? What you do against Shays and Klein, what they do at the center position, they keep a guy like Olajuwon away from the basket. You got to go out and challenge him on the jump shots.
Well, there's not a lot of guys out there in the hitherland, 7-footers you can manufacture, bring in. So you got to make adjustments. Paul Westphal has done that.
Yes,
they have different kinds of weapons. And Ori gets both of those. It's 108 to 85. Ori with 18 points. Very quiet 18 points.
Yeah, I'll tell you an even bigger move that Paul Westphal made this year. He put Dan Marley on the bench, an all-star.
Yep.
And let Person start, brought Marley off the bench. And that has worked for him this year.
Ainge tries to theory. Well, Marley became the first non-starter to ever be voted in as a starter by the fans. And so he has gone back to that 6-man role after, for some periods of the season, being a starter. Kenny Smith hits the 3. That might encourage him going into game number 3, his first 3 tonight. 108 to 88. Well, you look at this Houston team, we talk about back-to-back. They don't have a lot of healthy bodies. They have Herrera, who was on the roster. He cannot continue. And, of course, Vernon Maxwell, indefinite leave of absence. So that back-to-back isn't going to be a piece of cake for them.
No, it's not.
2:43 left in this game.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see that the land is pure, untamed and free. There's no place that I'd rather be. So come on along and head for the mountains of bush deer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of bush deer.
Let's find a way to disrupt.
Look at Elliot Perry stay after that. Eventually draws the foul.
I think you're going to have to find a way to disrupt the flow here for the Phoenix Suns. They have not missed a beat in either of the first two games. You'll see Elliot Perry here on the replay get to the line. And I think there are two ways to do that. Number one, you have to become a better rebounding team. And Houston has not been a good rebounding team all year, so there's no reason to look for that to happen in the playoffs. The other thing I think you have to do is get back on defense and challenge on the shots. You have to become more physical. You have to bump people. You have to knock people down. You have to at least make Phoenix think that if they come into the paint, they're going to have to pay for it.
Well, in the first game, the Suns out-rebounded Houston 48-29, and here tonight they're leading 43-31. Very similar type numbers. Then it comes to Ori. Ori going for his 20th point. 110-90.
He needed to be more effective, but in this ball game, 20 points is not going to be as important because this game was over a long time ago.
His high in the playoffs is 21 against Utah. And that ball's kicked, Phil, reset the shot clock. Well, the thing about the Suns is that they haven't had to play Barkley huge minutes in the first two games. That's going to bode well for them going into the back-to-back. And the Suns are really, as we said, an unselfish team, but they're getting performances from everybody. It's just not two or three guys. Even though you look at Barkley and Kevin with big numbers, everybody is stepping up here.
And you're right. And the numbers that Charles has gotten, they've not been tough minutes. They've not been physical, hard minutes.
Marley a little off balance on that. He wasn't squared up on the three. A minute 41 left in the game. The Suns are going to go up 2-0. NBC will pick up game 3 Saturday from the Summit. Game 4 Sunday. If it continues on, we'll be back here on Tuesday in America West Arena. John Taba, who is a Croatian in his first year in the league, hits that shot. He had a shot the other night. He was 1 of 1, so comes in and gets one tonight.
First season in this league, but he spent about 7 seasons in the professional league in Europe.
Playing with Dino Raja and Tony Kukoc, 24-year-old rookie.
And they think he's going to be a pretty good player. He's going to have to get stronger to play in this league in the low post, but he has pretty good touch.
That time he dishes off to Ellie, and Ellie will put it away with 1:05 left in the game.
AC already taking a nap. He's earned it.
That's the only time I've seen him not in perpetual motion.
This game lost interest to a lot of people and to AC Green a long time ago.
Well, if you're Houston, you've got to be stunned. And the world champions are reeling. Can they recover? And how will they recover? That's a major question as they shift this series to the Lone Star State of Texas.
Well, the only good thing about it is they found a way to win games last year. They were in the same situation, having lost their first 2 games of the series. Only difference, they lost them on their home floor.
There's that tornado, that funny twisting shot. Jones tries to dish it off, saved by Ellie. Ellie with 26 seconds misses. Well, we've talked before about how tough they are in elimination games. They're 7-1 in elimination games and 3-0 against the Suns a year ago, and they're getting close to elimination time as Ainge hits a 3. Danny Ainge came in there with 164 threes, buries that one. As we go to the last 10 seconds, Ainge with a rebound, and the Suns with a convincing pounding here tonight. Phoenix goes up 2-0. 115-94, and then they are able to hit another 3 to make it 118-94.
Well, you never want to take that shot in a game when you have to face a team again, but it was so hard to pass up as Danny Ainge threw it up and got it to go.
Well, it just kind of put a note of I think, a final authority that the Suns have handled. Let's go now to Nicole Watson. Nicole, are you ready to go? Here, let's go to you.
It seems like you came in with an emotional deficit for this one after what happened in Game 1.
Yeah, we thought we was going to come out with a lot more fire than what we had. We came out and we just didn't have the aggression like we should have. You know, we missed a lot of easy shots in the beginning. And I think that's what we let get to us, and we just couldn't get back into the game after that.
The Phoenix Suns, on the other hand, have been superior. How can they be stopped?
Well, hopefully they go into our arena now. Hopefully they won't shoot as well because they've been shooting the ball extremely well. You know, we got to find another way to try to stop Charles Barkley down on the block. They tried me on him tonight, but he still got 30-something points. So we just got to do something to try to stop Charles and cut down on KJ's penetration. I think we can win a game.
Sam was a little under the weather, and it looks like Hakeem wasn't in the game or Clyde either.
Yeah, Sam. I think he got a little bit of flu. I think he been hanging around Charles a little bit too long, so he got a little bit what he had. So, you know, I think we're just going to be more focused when we get home because we're down 2 games. We've been in the same situation last year. I think we're going to come out more focused. We're not going to let our fans down. We got to go in there and play hard, get our fans behind us, and win us a ball game.
Thank you, Robert. All right. Back to Gary and Jack.
Nicole, thank you. Our Budweiser player of the game, KJ. Kevin Johnson, 29 points, 12 assists. 12 of 18. He was unstoppable as he was penetrating inside. And Kevin, you guys are really playing some outstanding basketball.
Well, we're not going to be too excited with ourselves. We know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing defensively. We feel good about that. We're making Houston work for everything they get, especially Hakeem down on the block and trying to limit the effectiveness of the other guys.
You know, you had a new slogan down the stretch, rebound and no layup. You certainly enforced that in the playoffs.
I'll tell you what, that's been our motto probably for the last 4 weeks or so. And, you know, toward the end of the season, we played good ball going into the playoffs, and we felt that we needed to be a little bit tougher, and that's where the no layup comes in. And if we control the boards or at least play teams even on the boards during the playoffs, then good things should happen.
KJ, my question is, as you look for ways to improve as you go into Houston, I don't know if there's anything you guys can do any differently than you've done. You've been tremendous here in the playoffs.
Well, we think that we've had a couple breakdowns defensively. I mean, Hakeem's going to get his points, but there's a few times where we over-rotated and gave some wide-open threes to some guys. And also, we need to cut down on the shoot turnovers. If we do that, we feel that good things will still happen.
Now, do you have a concern going into a back-to-back situation Saturday and Sunday?
I just really think it should favor us. I mean, we had a week or so rest going into this series, and Houston played back and got a day off, and they had that 5 tough game series against Utah. So, you know, back-to-backs usually teams split, but we're going to go in there and try our best to win Game 3 and then see what happens in Game 4.
All right, Kevin, congratulations. It's on to the Lone Star State on Saturday.
Thanks.
Kevin Johnson, big performance here tonight. Take a look at KJ, a little crossover dribble, penetrating inside, and the Suns win it 118-94, and they lead it 2 games to none.
We haven't really accomplished anything in the 7 years that we've been in Phoenix or the 3 years that Charles has been here.
This is a make-or-break time for us, I think, because if we don't win it this year, we probably are going to make a lot of changes.
3 years ago, acquiring Charles Barkley was a big change for a Phoenix franchise that has never won an NBA title. That season, they made it to the finals, but met defeat at the hands of the three-peating Bulls. Last year, a sudden collapse into a black hole of injuries and misery against Houston, a bitter loss to the eventual champions. As long as the Suns last in this run for glory, questions will persist. If not